Does anybody else feel like humanity collectively took psychic damage in 2020 and never healed? Because I'm starting to think that we all think that and nobody wants to talk about it. Turns out, the vibes are scientifically bad. I was doing some research because I'm normal and well adjusted like that. And I found this Pew Research study that basically confirms everything I've suspected. Almost half of Americans, so 47% to be exact, say people act ruder in public now compared to before the pandemic. Only 9% of people said that they were nicer. Where are those people living, by the way? I want coordinates here. I need to know what parallel universe they're in to think that people are more polite after 2020.
What has happened to the world, man? I feel like everywhere I go, when I go to a cafe, when I go to a restaurant, when I go to a shop, I feel like everyone that is working there is always so depressed and like almost about to kill themselves. And yeah, I feel like obviously after COVID, I feel like the world's just gone to shit.
Here's what I've been noticing personally. People drive like they're auditioning for Mad Max. You hesitate for a half a second at a green light, and suddenly there's somebody laying on their horn like you personally insulted their entire bloodline. Service workers look like they're barely holding it together. One wrong move and it's over for everybody. You got labubus, you got rude customers, and so on. And conversation skills, it's gone. Completely evaporated. I used to say hi to my neighbors, and I live in an apartment complex. You know what they do now? They just stare at me. Nobody knows how to hold a conversation anymore. It's either awkward silence where nobody knows what to say, or somebody's lecturing you for 45 minutes about Bitcoin or Android tape. Nobody trusts anything anymore. So we are actually living in a low trust hellscape now. What it means is that everybody assumes everybody else is lying. Institutions are corrupt and your neighbors might be plotting your demise. And honestly, that's entirely not unreasonable at all, given what we all witnessed. 2020 was an absolute circus. Even authority figures speedran losing all credibility. Public health guidelines changed so fast you'd get whiplash trying to follow them. Government officials made rules for us peasants and then immediately broke those rules at their fancy gatherings.
But once Dr. Fauci thought he was off camera, the mask came off literally. You want to see hypocrisy in action? Look at this. Here's Dr. Fauci sitting within 6 feet of other people in a mostly empty stadium without wearing his mask.
Both sides of the media were just creating their own alternate realities based on what fits the narrative, I guess. Tech platforms were censoring people too. And it's for stuff that turned out to be accurate. Whoopsie daisies, I guess. Also, if you're enjoying my videos, make sure to hit that like button, I guess. Or whatever they say nowadays. But here's the absolute wildest part. Regular people got threatened with losing their jobs if they didn't follow those rules. Churches closed, parks closed, gyms closed, and masks were mandatory. And it didn't even matter if you had them on correctly or anything, you just had to have them on for whatever reason. Then massive riots broke out, and suddenly all those strict rules, well, they don't apply anymore. The same officials who were lecturing about staying 6 feet apart suddenly had amnesia when it was convenient.
It is likely that if you are vaccinated, that you are not going to spread infection if you get infected without any symptoms.
There's no doubt about that. I understand that as well as anybody else. But there is studies that are coming online now that are going to definitively prove that. And that's the reason why we say when that happens, we'll pull back on the recommendation of saying people who are vaccinated should continue to wear masks.
And that's when people learned that, well, maybe people in charge are just improvising this whole time. And once you can't trust the system, why would you trust random people at the grocery store? For all you know, they're secretly judging your produce choices. And that's how you end up with a population that's paranoid, defensive, and 2 seconds away from losing it over a parking spot. We locked everybody in a box and expected them to be normal. We also decided to run a mass social experiment by isolating millions of people in their homes. And shockingly,
humans don't do great when you remove all human interaction.
Before all this, the most introverted person had some sort of regular interaction with people. Co-workers, cashiers, and random people at coffee shops. You know, just existing around other human beings. And that all vanished overnight, basically. Basic interactions has degraded. No one says hi to you anymore, nobody smiles, and nobody holds the door for you. And on top of that, everybody got addicted to their phones like their lives depend on it. TikTok exploded, Instagram became everybody's entire personality, and Twitter turned into a blood sport. And these apps are not designed to improve your life in any way, shape, or form. They're designed to keep you scrolling, and it feeds you the most enraging content possible.
keeps leaving her makeup out, so we're gonna teach her a lesson. Let's see, I don't know what this is. Looks like she's saving it for a nice fun time. What else do we got here? I don't know what this is, but we can, oh. I don't know, ladies. Is this driving you girls crazy right now? It should. Listen, don't worry.
Your brain is basically being trained to feel constant low-level anger all the time. And during that time, well, time stopped functioning correctly. It was constant breaking news after breaking news. Your brain should have been recording everything in high detail, but that's not what happened at all. Time compressed and everything felt like a fever dream. That extra processing makes time feel slower. That's why childhood memories feel stretched out, which is why 2020 now feels like it maybe happened in 3 months total, even though it's been almost 5 years. And I don't think anything has changed. An entire generation got developmentally frozen. This time warp hit young people the hardest. Now, I was 20 years old. Those were the critical development years, usually 15 to 21. You were learning social skills, building confidence, and making mistakes. And all that got paused. Instead of being in actual environments with real people, you were on a Zoom meeting. Let's say you're 24 now, you're gonna feel like you're 20. We got a whole generation of people who are chronologically adults, but developmentally they're stuck at teenage, well, basically maturity levels. And they're trying to catch up on everything they haven't done or learned years ago. And also everything got way more expensive than it should be. Billionaires kept getting richer while you can't afford 2 pieces of broccoli. Housing costs are absurd. And rent is eating, well, most of the time it's eating your entire paycheck. Groceries are more than double what they used to be. And companies are outsourcing labor with foreign cheap labor, or even AI, which is worse. And it's all happening at once. So that financial stress is also making people irritated. Groundbreaking stuff, I know. So when you're working multiple jobs and drowning in debt with no end in sight, well, you're not gonna really radiate positive energy. You're gonna get in your Nissan Altima and you're gonna start driving like shit. But here's the thing, it's been 5 years. Why isn't it like over already? Like, will you ever afford a house or will you retire?
No.
Everything our parents did is now basically impossible. And everybody feels that. Not to mention the constant trends on the internet that happen just and cycle throughout weeks or days. Kind of like the Starbucks cup thing and the Labubus and all that. Short form content is pumping out new trends. And it's so fast that your brain can't even process the first one.
Hey, how are the hemorrhoids been?
Okay,
I
first of
know
all,
you got them real bad. I accidentally fueled my Toyota Camry with a 1% low-fat milk.
So are we completely doomed here? Well, if our environment created these problems, then changing our environment could fix this. If we could rebuild the trust that was lost and make life financially possible again and stop pitting everybody against each other, maybe things would improve. So go to shows, take some trips, or try new activities, or get a hobby or something. Or don't. I can't really tell you what to do. I'm just here documenting the collapse. I'm out. Peace.